Selling simple products like t-shirts, mugs, and sweatshirts on print-on-demand platforms has truly changed my life. This started as just a simple side hustle. I wanted to see what all the hype was about and see if I could do something that was fun and creative and made a little bit of money on the side. But over the last few years, this has grown into a full-time income for me and something I'm able to do every single day from home. Now, if you're thinking of starting a new side hustle this year, print-on-demand is still such an amazing option. First of all, because it is so low cost to start. It's really simple to actually learn the principles of what makes a really good print-on-demand store. And if you are willing to put in a little bit of extra work, there is still so much room in the market for you to actually come up with best-selling products that can really make you thousands of dollars every single month. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to actually make a print-on-demand business from the very beginning, from scratch. So I'm going to show you how to get started, all the decisions you need to make up front, and then actually show you how to make your very first product and upload it to a site and sell. Now, once you've kind of walked through this process once and you've learned how to do this, you can just rinse and repeat this process a bunch of times to really grow a thriving print-on-demand business that is bringing you income every single month or every single day. So let's not waste any more time and just jump right into the video. Now, if you're not familiar with what print-on-demand is, basically it is a really good side hustle because you are going to be doing research to find good products to sell. You're going to be making designs and uploading them to products like t-shirts and mugs. But the amazing part is you do not have to have any of the equipment or materials to make these items ahead of time or from your own home. You are going to work with a manufacturing partner who is kind of the middleman. So all you're going to be doing is making these designs for products, and then every single time you get an order, your manufacturing partner is going to take care of the rest. So everything like storing items, printing them, packing them, shipping them to customers, and all that. So that makes it very low cost to start. There are definitely a few upfront expenses to think about, but you're not going to have to invest thousands of dollars in buying a whole printing machine or storing a bunch of products like t-shirts in your basement. You're going to be doing this all from your computer. So really all you're going to need is some kind of laptop or computer and a good internet connection. Now, the basic principle of print on demand is you are going to be getting items at wholesale cost from your manufacturing partner. So for example, a t-shirt might cost you as the seller around $11 for them to actually produce and ship this to your customers. But on your print on demand store, you could list this for around $25. So you're going to have about a $10 to $14 profit range on that item every single time you make a sale. So the very first step in this process for actually creating your print on demand business is you're going to need to decide where you want to actually sell your items. Now, there are tons of different print on demand platforms out there, some better than others, some more profitable than others. But in my experience, there are two that have really risen above the rest for me and made way more money than pretty much any other print on demand site. And that is going to be selling print on demand items on Etsy or selling them on Amazon. Now, it's no surprise because both of these are some of the biggest e-commerce platforms out there. They have tons of visitors every single day. So you're getting a lot of that organic traffic already. So my suggestion is going to be choosing one of those two really big platforms. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to get started on Etsy. It's probably the most accessible for anyone to get started on. So I think this is a great choice and there's tons of money to be made on this site. So let's just jump right into it. Now, if you've never made one before, it is very easy to set up an account on Etsy. You're just going to go about this for a print on demand business kind of the same way you would making any other Etsy shop. So you're just going to log onto Etsy.com, and then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the home page, there is going to be a little tab that says sell on Etsy. So you can simply click that and it is going to prompt you to actually get started and join the marketplace. So you can click get started there, and Etsy is actually going to walk you through kind of the steps of all the information you need to fill out to create your Etsy shop. Now, one question I get a lot with people wanting to start a print on demand business is if they have to already have a business number or they have to create an LLC to get started. Now, this is definitely something you can think about doing down the road, but you definitely do not have to start as an official business to be selling print on demand items. You can just sell as an individual. That's how I got started. And then later down the road, you can always switch to a more official business or LLC LLC. Now, once you have created your Etsy shop, it's time to actually choose who you are going to partner with as your manufacturing partner. So like I said, this is the person who is kind of the middleman, who's actually taking care of all the printing, packing, and shipping of your items when you upload new designs. Now, the manufacturing partner that I personally use to sell on Etsy is called Printify. You guys may have heard of them. They're probably one of the biggest manufacturing partners out there. Now, another thing that I love about them is they are totally free to get started with and sell. Just anytime that you receive an order for an item, you are going to pay Printify the wholesale cost of that item, and then you're going to keep the profit that you make for whatever you decide to sell your items for. So to get started on Printify, you can actually click the link down below, and that is going to help you create a free account if you never have created an account with Printify before. Now, after this part of the process, the last thing that you're going to need to do to actually set up your entire account and get yourself able to actually sell print-on-demand items on Etsy is you need to integrate the two websites. Now, this can sound a little bit daunting, but it's actually very simple. Printify has made it really, really easy to link your account with your Etsy shop so you can seamlessly upload products to the platform. But I actually have a full walkthrough tutorial that takes you through step by step, literally every single thing you need to fill out and do. I will link that right here. But for the sake of this video and getting on to the next step in the process, I'm not going to go through that in so much detail right here because I have a really good tutorial on that already. Now, once your accounts are all integrated, it's time for the next step in this process, and that is going to be deciding what types of items you are actually going to sell for print on demand. Now, Printify has a catalog of hundreds and hundreds of different products that you can sell in a print on demand shop. Some of the most common are going to be things like t-shirts and sweatshirts, but they have mugs, phone cases, canvases, candles, ornaments, pillows, tote bags. Pretty much if you can think of it, Printify probably has an option to sell a print on demand version or the white label product. But today I'm going to be showing you how to actually make a t-shirt because that is probably the most sold print on demand item type, and you can kind of take these same principles and apply them to almost any other product type afterward. So the product that I am going to be showing you guys how to sell today is going to be the Bella and Canvas 3001 t-shirt right here, and we are just going to click start designing. Now, this is where the really fun part begins, and that is actually figuring out what type of design we are going to sell and upload to our shop. Now, this is where a lot of people start to kind of get nervous. They don't really know what types of niches to sell. They don't know what types of products to make. So I'm going to share with you some really, really simple research strategies that you can implement, and then show you how to make some really simple designs after that that actually sell. So one of the important things to think about when you are creating print on demand items that actually will get seen by people is you want to have enough demand for an item. So that means that enough people are searching for this type of item, but low enough competition that you're not going to be banished to like the 1000th page of Etsy. So for example, if you browsed on Etsy and you saw that, okay, teacher shirts are trending, they are always selling really well. There are shops that have thousands and thousands of sales just selling teacher items. So you're like, perfect, I'm going to make teacher t-shirts. This is going to blow up and get huge. I'm going to make so much money. And then you make some really cute teacher t-shirts and upload them to Etsy, but it's just crickets. Nobody even sees your items. That's probably because that niche right now is just way too saturated. So you have to do a couple things. You either have to find smaller niches that don't have as much competition and that you can kind of be one of those people on the first couple pages of Etsy, or you need to find a new way to kind of stand out in those really saturated niches. Now, there are tons of different research tools out there. I have quite a few of them linked down below, including a free niche research workshop that I made for you guys. It's about an hour long and it shows you a really good strategy for finding niches with a lot less competition. But I wanted to show you another tool that I pretty much have been using since the beginning of my print on demand journey that has helped me find so many amazing niches with not a ton of competition. So this tool is actually called Merch Informer. Now, it was originally made for selling products on Amazon merch, but I found that it still works really well for finding and discovering new niches and trends to sell on pretty much any print on demand platform. Because when you think about it, Amazon is pretty much the biggest e-commerce platform out there. So if items are selling really well on Amazon, they're likely going to do really well on a site like Etsy too. Now, what Merch Informer is going to do is it is basically going to present you with the data of items that are selling really well either right now, this month, or this year. So one of my favorite tools that I like to use on Merch Informer is if you go under here to product research, there is a tab that says movers and shakers. And now this is going to give you the items that have really taken off in sales in the last few days or weeks. Now, if you haven't ever used Merch Informer before, or you just want to give it a try, I will link them down below. You can get a free trial with them, or you can sign up with my discount link that's going to get you about 20% off this tool. I think it's a really, really good investment if you're trying to find niches that actually will make sales and not have so much competition. So what I typically like to do under this movers and shakers section is I am just going to spend some time kind of browsing through all of these items that have really taken off in sales today. Now, this is going to kind of key you in on trends and niches that a lot of people are looking for right now. So for example, this 100 days of kindergarten shirt has really taken off in sales recently because it is near the 100th day of school. And then you have other trends like something like this. So it says, when God created me, he laughed and thought that will be funny. So this is an example of a shirt that you could take and see that this phrase is selling really well right now, but you could kind of make your own twist on this. So maybe add a graphic to it, maybe sell it with some different styling and fonts, do something that's a little bit more unique than this. But you already have the data telling you that this phrase is selling well and people are actually searching for it. Another example of data that you might be able to find is this shirt right here says the grass is calling and I must mow. So you might not want to take that exact phrase and make a shirt of it, but you could see that the trend of mowing is a really good niche. So you can make a bunch of different mowing type t-shirts and sell those, and that's going to have a lot less competition. Now let's keep looking for an idea for the shirt that we're going to make together today. All right, so after browsing for just a couple minutes, I really like both of these t-shirts right here. They actually give me kind of similar vibes. They both have to do with cats. They're kind of sarcastic. Now, I really like the phrase of this one here that's selling super, super well today that says, first of all, I'm a delight, and it has kind of a grumpy cat on it. Now, there's a few things about this shirt that I think that we could do a lot better, and we could actually make our item have even less competition. So I think we really could just make a more interesting design style than this right here. This is pretty basic, and it almost seems a little bit dated now to the type print on demand items that sell really, really well today. So just by updating the design style, I think that that is going to put us with a little bit of an edge ahead. Now, the other thing that I thought about this here is that it has a picture of kind of like a grumpy cat on it, which cats sell really well, but again, they have so much competition. If we could maybe find another animal that kind of represents this same theme, we could maybe tap into a niche that's a little bit more specific and actually get a lot more eyeballs on our design and hopefully even more sales. So to help me figure out what animal I want to do, I'm actually going to go over here to the left-hand side and click on this that's called a competition checker. Now, this competition checker is going to let you kind of search keywords and figure out if this is going to be a good niche to sell in based on a grade of A to F. So if we look up something like funny cat, let's go ahead and search that and see what rating it's going to give us. Now, what if we switch this out with something like a dog? Let's try that. Now, same thing, funny dog is giving us a score of an F. So that probably is an animal that's just way too saturated for something like this. You can see there's just so many products online. But another animal that I've seen trending a lot is something like a raccoon or a porcupine. I think either of those could go really well. So let's look up like funny raccoon or sarcastic raccoon. All right, so when I look up funny raccoon, that gives us a much better score of an A. So I think if we use this phrase, we should not use a cat, but we should use something else like a raccoon instead. So now the very next step before we actually dive into making our design is we want to double check that the phrase we are going to be selling, which is that phrase, first of all, I'm a delight, super funny, is we want to trademark check this and make sure that anyone doesn't own the trademark for this phrase. Because if we tried to sell something that someone actually owns the rights to, that could get us in huge trouble. Now, to actually check trademarks, you don't need any fancy software at all. You just need to know how to use this free website from the United States government. It is uspto.gov, and they have a trademark search database. So I've just logged right into here, and I'm going to go over to the trademark search system, and all you need to do is type in the phrase that you are hoping to sell, and then right here, click this search icon, and it's going to pull up any results that someone owns the trademark to. So if we search that and there is something, that would indicate us we probably shouldn't sell it, but if there's no results, that means it's pretty safe that we can go ahead and sell this type of phrase. So I went and searched that and no results were found. So that that means we are good to go. This is definitely a step that is really tempting to skip, but it doesn't take a lot of time. I highly suggest always checking your phrases and keywords in a trademark checker before you actually move on with making your design. I have done that where I've made the design first, I spent a lot of time on it, and then I found out later that it was something that someone owned the obscure trademark for, and all that work was wasted. So make sure you do this first. Now, the next step in this process is getting the elements that we want to use in our design. Now, I'm going to use the Design Suite Kittle today to actually put together my entire design, but because we want to use kind of like a grumpy raccoon or some other type of grumpy animal, since it's more specific, I am actually going to go to Creative Fabrica first. Now, if you've never used Creative Fabrica, it's pretty much just a huge collection of thousands and thousands of different print-on-demand graphics and assets and designs and templates and elements and pictures that you can download and use for your print-on-demand designs. Now, I personally like to save a lot of time, and I don't make a lot of graphics or designs from scratch because I just find that I can use my time better elsewhere making more designs. So I utilize a lot of tools like Creative Fabrica. And what I like about them is they are one of the lowest cost subscriptions out there. They're just around $3.99 a month, and you get access to their entire catalog of elements. So I'm going to show you what I would do to find a good graphic that we're going to be able to put on our t-shirt design. So I'm just going to look up something like grumpy animal, or I could even get more specific and look up like grumpy raccoon and see if we could find something that works here. And since I'm selling print-on-demand products, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here where it says special license and click print on demand. And that way it's going to only show us elements that are safe to use and sell on print-on-demand items. Now, there's a lot of good options here, a lot of really cute bundles. This has a cute grumpy raccoon I see right there. Let's keep looking. This one, I'm really liking the style. It's kind of like an emoji animal style. So let's click here and see if there's a cute raccoon in this bundle. And I think there is. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just click download right here and download a copy of these graphics to my computer so I can start using them in my design. All right, now that I have the element that I want to use in my t-shirt design, I'm actually going to start putting together the full design that's going to go on my t-shirt. Now, this is where you're going to use a design suite to actually come up with your design. Now, there's tons of them out there, but the one that I really like and suggest that you use if you are a print-on-demand seller is called Kittle. Now, Kittle does more than just make print-on-demand designs, but they really are tailored specifically to print-on-demand sellers. And so most of the tools and features that they have are super helpful to print-on-demand sellers. Now, you can make designs completely from scratch on the platform, but what I really like is they have a ton of different templates that you can kind of just change a few elements about them and you have a print-on-demand design ready to go. So they have all sorts of different templates to start with here. And so for example, this one that says shine bright, you could just change the phrase there and it's going to completely format your design so it looks super professional, but it has your unique phrase or whatever you want to put on it. So I think that we should start with a template today. And I've really been liking kind of like a retro kind of cutesy style. And I think that would go really well with this kind of like sarcastic grumpy design. So I'm just going to look up retro and see if we can find a good template to go with here. Right, there's some really good ones here like this. I could see us putting that raccoon right there and just changing some of the text. I really like this design right here too, or something like this where it would say like, first of all, I'm a delight. That could work really well. Right, after looking for a few minutes, I really like this template here, and I think we can change out all this text to fit really well with the design we're making. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get rid of this cute coffee cup right there, because that's probably where we're going to put our grumpy raccoon. And I'm just going to go ahead and start by changing the text here. So I just did first of all, and what I love is it automatically formats to how the text was before, so you don't have to always warp everything on your own. So first of all, I'm a, and then I'll put delight right here. All right, now the next step in this process is we're going to upload the design that we just downloaded from Creative Fabrica. So I'm going to go to the left-hand side where it says uploads, and I am just going to click upload right here and drag all of those different PNGs that we downloaded from Creative Fabrica. So I went ahead and started adding all of those, and then I'm just going to go ahead and use the raccoon for this one here. And I think that I am going to play around with the spacing a little bit and make this flower just a little bit bigger. Now that's already looking super cute. I'm just going to go ahead and make this this design take up a little bit more of the canvas, because I find that for print on demand items, the bigger the design is, typically the better it's going to do, because people can actually see what is going to be on the item that they're buying. So that looks really good. And if you're happy with it, all you're going to do is go up here where it says export, and then make sure you remove the background. And then I typically like to make sure that my designs are at least 4,500 pixels wide. So I'm going to change that and then download with those settings. All right, so now we've gone back to our Printify account, and this is where we really start creating our listing. So as you can see here, I have my t-shirt, and now white I think is a really great option to sell, but we could also select a few other color variants if we wanted to. So maybe if we wanted to do a silver as well, I think that could look really good. And then we're going to go over here to where it says upload, and we're going to click on my device and click the artwork we just downloaded from Kittl. All right, that is looking really good so far, but if we just want to preview it, we can click preview here, and it's going to show us kind of an example mock-up of what this would look like. That's looking super cute. So all I'm going to do is click right here, save product. Now Printify does have their own auto-generated mock-ups right here that you can use for free, but I typically don't like to recommend that you use those. The mock-up is probably going to be the most important thing that is going to sell your items. This is what people are seeing first when they're doing an Etsy search. Is typically they're not going to be reading like the description or the title. They're just going to be looking to see if they like the photo. So I don't like to use these mock-ups here. I'll leave the just generic flat lay ones, but I'm going to show you how to make your own mock-up that's really going to help your products get seen and make sales right after this. So let's just go ahead and save the selection. And then right here, it actually is prompting you to boost your mock-ups with Placeit. So Placeit is actually the subscription that I use to make my mock-ups. So I'm going to show you how to actually make a mock-up on Placeit. So you can get started with Placeit down below in the description. They actually have a free version of their account as well as a paid version. I'm using the paid one today, but honestly, the free one is really amazing too, and you can get a decent amount of mock-ups with it. But if you find that this helps you make 1 or 2 more sales every single month, I really feel like it's worth it to upgrade to the unlimited account, because it's going to pay for itself if you just get a couple extra sales every single month. So I'm going to go over here to where it says mockups, go down to apparel, and then click on t-shirt. Now, if you remember that we chose to sell a Bella and Canvas t-shirt on Printify, that is the brand of the t-shirt. So we can actually go down here and sort by just the Bella and Canvas 3001, and that is just going to bring us mockups with that exact product, which just helps things look more realistic and give a customer an idea of what they're actually buying. Now, for this one, I think that I want to have a woman in the mockup here, and I typically find that mockups with real people in them are going to sell way more than just like a generic flat lay photo. So let's scroll through here and see if we can find a good mockup to sell. So there are some really cute ones here. I kind of like this one here. It's really fun, and I think it could kind of work with that like fun, sarcastic vibe that our shirt has going for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and click edit, and then all I'm going to do is over here where it says design, click on that, and then upload from my device the exact same design file that we put on our Etsy product. All right, so we uploaded that, and we are just going to make sure the orientation and sizing looks really similar to what we uploaded on Printify. All right, so that sizing is looking really good. So I'm going to go ahead and click crop, and then go over here to where it says download. Now you could just use this as is, but I typically like to crop this to the optimized settings for Etsy. So let me just show you really quickly how to do that. So down here for the size of this image, I want to make it 2700 by 2025 pixels. And then I am just going to zoom this image in until it takes up all of that space here. And don't be afraid to crop off part of the face. You just want to make sure you're getting the most important elements there, which is everything that your shirt is going to say. So once that looks good, I'm just going to click download. All right, so now that I've made my mockup, I'm back on Printify, and this is where we're going to start actually changing the SEO, making the title, description, and doing all of the edits to our product before we actually push it over to Etsy, where we're going to make some final touches. So right now we just have these couple of mockups here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and upload our new mockup when we get this to Etsy. So right now I'm just going to leave this as is, and now we're going to actually change the title and the description. And a really cool thing that Printify does have is they have kind of an AI helper that's going to help you come up with titles and descriptions. Now, they didn't have this when I first got started, so it's a game changer if you're a new seller, because it's really going to help hold your hand in figuring out what kinds of titles and descriptions sell well on Etsy. So let's go ahead and click generate with AI, and all we're going to need to do is add some descriptive elements and really important keywords we want to target. So for this one, I'm going to make sure and include the phrase that we have, as well as stuff about it being like a funny or sarcastic raccoon and any other things that I think would be important. All right, so I just put as my description, sarcastic raccoon, funny woman shirt saying, first of all, I'm a delight, cute raccoon, funny possum, grumpy animal raccoon. I just threw in possum there because if somebody is looking for a similar funny like possum shirt, I think they would like this one too. So let's just go ahead and click generate, and it's going to analyze our listing and see similar things that it could pull from to help us create the most optimized title. All right, so we're going to go ahead and apply this to listing, and it came up with sarcastic raccoon, unisex tee, cute funny women's raccoon shirt, grumpy animal, possum, first of all, I'm a delight, gift for her, short sleeve. Now, we definitely can tweak this a little bit, and you probably should do some preliminary searches on Etsy to see what other similar niches or designs have in their title and description, and then you can make some changes to this title. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it because it hit on a lot of the things I definitely wanted to cover. And then for the description, it just said a hilarious unisex short sleeve tee featuring a sarcastic raccoon and funny woman shirt saying, first of all, I'm a delight, perfect for those who love quirky animal designs and appreciate a good sense of humor. So that's a really good start. You might want to include a few more keywords in that as well, but for the sake of this video, we're going to leave it as is. Now, the other really cool thing it did is it actually added some tags for us. Now, you could kind of use some of these and add some of your own, which you might want to do, but for right now, I'm going to leave that as well. Now, for shipping, the nice thing about using Printify is you don't have to figure out all the shipping yourself. They have everything for shipping taken care of. So you just have to decide which type of shipping you want. So there is standard, economy, and express. So standard is probably what I'm going to default to. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's going to get your items there faster. But you could also try economy, and that's going to have local delivery in 4 to 8 business days. So for right now, I'm just going to stick with the standard option. And now this is where we are going to change the price of our item. So Printify is typically going to default to a 40% profit margin, but the profit that you're actually seeing here is typically going to be quite a bit less because Etsy is going to take a percentage of every single sale. You're also going to have listing fees and a bunch of additional fees with this. So typically this is going to be more like cut in half profit wise. Now, the other thing to note is all of these prices are kind of odd numbers like $22.82 or $27.75. I typically like numbers that look kind of more official and end in something like 99. So I'm going to go ahead and select all, and I'm going to edit the price to $25.99 on these and apply that. Now, unfortunately, some of the bigger sizes are typically a little bit more expensive. So I am going to edit the price on these sizes here to be just a few dollars more. So let's do $29.99. And then for this 5XL, I'm going to do $32.99. Now, typically these are going to have a little bit less profit than the other ones, but I kind of use this as more of a loss leader. But the other sizes, I want to make sure I'm making enough profit on them. All right, so once all your prices are updated, we are going to go ahead and publish this to our Etsy shop. Now, if you integrated it at the beginning, when you click publish, it's going to push everything over to your Etsy account, so you don't have to do anything extra. It's going to automatically go there. Now, right after we click publish, you can see that it has kind of this gray publishing status right here. Now, once it's fully finished uploading everything that we just changed, it's going to change to kind of a green circle where it says published here, and it's going to be ready on our Etsy account for us to add those final finishing touches. This sometimes can take a couple minutes, and you just have to be patient while it uploads everything. All right, so after just a couple minutes, the status changed to published. So we're going to go over to our Etsy shop manager, and we can see the listing over there. All right, so in my Etsy shop manager, I just went over to the listings section, and you can see this listing right here. Now, all I'm going to do is click this gear icon and click edit, and we can see all of the information that we already uploaded to Printify. But the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and add that additional photo we created for our mock-up, and I'm going to make sure that this is the primary image because this is going to look a lot better when people are scrolling past our results on Etsy than if they just saw the generic version of our t-shirt. Now, you could make additional mock-ups too, but I really find that spending the most amount of time just on that first image is going to give you the best results. So if you do any mock-ups, make sure it's that primary one, and you don't always have to waste a lot of time on the other mock-ups here. Now, you can see all of our pricing information is updated here, so we don't need to mess with that, and our tags are all updated as well as our shipping information. Now, one thing that I think you definitely should edit on Etsy is what shop section this is going to stay on. So I might have a good section for this already, but if I don't, I'm going to add a section here. So I'm just going to put sarcastic women's shirts, or I could do something like sarcastic animals. That could be another great category. But the shop section actually acts as an additional kind of tag for your SEO. So you definitely want to make sure you are not skipping out on that. And then you can either choose to enroll it in Etsy ads or not. If you're just getting started, you might want to not enroll it here. And the very last thing is to click your renewal option. So on Etsy, after a few months, your listing is going to expire, and you can either pay to have your listing re-uploaded the exact same way, or you can kind of manually review it. Now, it's tempting to do the automatic renewal so you don't have to think about it, but typically I found if 2, 3, or 4 months have gone by and you haven't really made any sales on an item, you might want to manually just review that listing and see if there's any tweaks you could make to help it sell again when you re-upload it. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep that on manual and then push publish changes. Now our listing has been successfully updated, and to see it on Etsy, we can just click the gear icon and click view on Etsy. And this is going to show us exactly what our listing would look like to buyers. So they could click their color here and the size that they wanted to buy and add that to cart. We can see our updated title and description and all of the other information there. Now this same process you can rinse and repeat every single day to really fill up your Etsy store. Now, one of the most important things when doing this business is understanding that a consistent amount of effort every single day is typically going to be out getting really excited and doing so much at the beginning and kind of leaving this business. I have personally found that the people that have success with print on demand, they choose an amount of items they want to consistently upload every single day. They do their few uploads a day consistently over months and months, and slowly they're building this huge catalog of print on demand items that are going to make sales. So if you're thinking of starting this business model, see if you can be consistent with uploading maybe 1 or 2 new products every single day for a few months. And by the end of that time, you're going to have over 100 products in your catalog, which is going to give you a real opportunity to get seen and actually start making some sales. Now, if you're thinking of starting this business, I have hundreds of videos on my channel dedicated to helping you through every single step of this process. So you'll definitely find something perfect for you to watch next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.